Yeah, we're live now. We've got ready for our final broadcast, guys.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to probably our final HerdTracker broadcast. We're sitting in Nairobi. We just flew in from the Mara, and we just want to thank Make It Kenya for making this whole project possible. And we want to share an incredible day with you that we've had yesterday.
Yes.
And we couldn't do anything but call it Big Cat Sunday. We literally saw Africa's elusive cats all on our own, and we had wonderful sightings of leopard to start off with, lion to follow, and then a cheetah kill.
Yes.
And we're going to just quickly run through it all. It started off with Stuart.
Yes.
A beautiful sunrise.
Beautiful sunrise. So early starts in the bush. If you come on safari to Kenya, to the Masai Mara, you are up at 5:30, and you want to be out. If you're photographing, you want to be out when that light is golden, that beautiful time. You often hear about the golden hour in photography. Well, in East Africa, with our proximity to the equator, it's more like a golden 15-20 minutes. So you have to be in position, and you have to react and shoot your pictures quickly to capture this wonderful golden light.
Yeah, just quickly into the light, gives you contrast, and
Yes.
and you pick up the wonderful desert dates and
silhouettes,
and kind of
that's right.
washed out background, but beautiful contrast.
And so yesterday we were with Jackson, our guide from Ambion.
Our leopard king,
yeah. Tented camp, and we asked to find a leopard, and he delivered. Within 15 minutes of entering the park, he knew the area to head to, and
Before 6:30 in the morning.
before 6:30 in the morning, and this was our first sighting. Was this, I believe, a young male leopard? Is that right?
Beautiful young male. You can see the age, tell the age by the color of the nose, and you can see it's a male by the size of the head and the thickness of the neck. Male and female leopard are. Just look at the width of that neck, and
Muscle and power.
Yeah, absolutely. They have different diets. They are different animals altogether.
Wonderful light to shoot in, as you can see, this lovely yellow golden light which complements the coat of the leopard so well, but very, very challenging conditions. The subject is on the move.
Yeah.
He was coming to the end of his night shift, if you like, so he's looking for a place to plot up for the day.
Yeah.
And you're having to position the vehicle over very rough ground. You've got certain equipment that you're using to try and capture. If had a question come in, did we see any cheetahs? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. And so the leopard, the subject is constantly walking towards you, so you have to think and shoot and capture your images very, very quickly.
A nice glint on the eye there, and and you can see similar colours all around,
Yeah.
and
you can also give a suggestion of how well that camouflage of the leopard works.
Yeah. What a beautiful cat, huh?
Wonderful.
Unbelievable.
So we had probably 2 to 3 minutes, and that's probably your shot, or I believe is it the next frame?
No, this is the one. Huh?
This is the shot.
Lovely yellow eyes, pink nose, and just some space
In the frame there.
in the frame there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And then Stuart, we went across to.
We moved on. He disappeared. We let him go, didn't we? We couldn't follow him anymore.
Yeah.
And we moved on, and we found some of the herds that have migrated this year, who are now heading south back down towards the Serengeti from the Masai Mara.
And the zebra started dropping the fowl. Which we didn't see earlier in the week. So this is very new. And you see this little.
Now, how old is this fowl here? It looks very young.
Very wobbly on the feet still, and
Very vulnerable.
Yeah, no, maybe a day old or so, even 10 hours or so.
Yes.
You can see still finding its feet.
Absolutely.
And,
but we've seen a lot of animals who have given birth. We've seen the warthog. We've seen zebra.
So rain must be on its way. Sometimes animals tell you beforehand what's heading towards you weather-wise.
So after this, we moved on further. We were heading south.
Yeah,
in the Mara Triangle towards
absolutely.
the border with Serengeti, and here we can see some of the herds moving.
Herds on the move, huh?
Yeah.
Towards Lamai Wedge.
That's it.
Which is a wonderful area. If you ever go down there, you won't find many vehicles. Which gave us literally almost a full day without having anyone around us, and we bumped into this nomad, this beautiful specimen of a male lion,
He was magnificent.
Unbelievable.
Sat in the shade of an acacia tree, was it? And he'd also killed that morning just before we'd arrived.
Yeah.
Taken one of those young zebra foals that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You often see this when on safari. It's part of the cycle. It's part of the reality of being in the wild and the environment. And makes for wonderful photographic opportunities.
Yeah, and I just want to point out the difference in the size of the leopard head and the lion head, and you can see now why this is the king of Africa's savannah. You know, this thing is just power.
Yeah.
All the muscle around the head is just absolutely.
So we headed further south. We continued to see more the herds. The numbers increased in density as we headed south.
I know, we are mini crossing.
Small crossing there.
Yeah. we show you all the crossing.
That's it.
And
HerdTracker brings you all the crossings.
There's a little water there, and he jump.
But wonderful to see, and it's actually quite challenging and quite difficult to capture the scale of this landscape. So you have this big sweeping landscape. You have the Ololo escarpment behind you to the west.
Yeah.
That sweeps down onto the savannah, onto the plains, and away to the horizon. And it's covered in these small groups of wildebeest and zebra.
And then we stopped for a little breakfast.
We did, yes.
After an early morning start. And Jackson looking after us, and beyond, you know, that's hosted us throughout the last 3-4 days. Andre setting up our satellite.
Lovely group of elephants there that were moving across in.
Very nice breeding herd.
Yeah. We had a question earlier. Did we see any cheetah? Well, we were lucky. We kept heading south. There were no other vehicles around.
Yeah.
It shows you the kind of terrain and environment you can expect to see in the southern Mara Triangle during the migration season.
And no other vehicles. I mean, throughout all of this, we haven't bumped into anything.
That's what it's like inside the vehicle.
Yeah.
Wonderful open, fresh air, the sounds and smells of the savannah.
And
then just before midday, we were crossing an open, flat area, and we came across, to answer the question from earlier, a wonderful family of cheetah, a mother and 4 sub-adult juveniles, I believe.
Yeah. And she's a wonderful mom, you know, to be able to successfully bring up 4 cubs for a cheetah in an environment where there are so many other predators is absolutely incredible. And you can see in the next sequence that she actually she's in an advanced stage of almost letting them go. You know, they're almost good to go on their own, and the sub-adults actually.
How far from Kitwa was this? It was probably a good hour's drive south.
Yeah, a good hour's drive.
Not too far from the Tanzanian border. You can see the escarpment here in the background. It makes for a wonderful backdrop for your photography.
So Kitwa is kind of up here, up here all the way.
All the way, yeah.
But it's 45 minutes or so if you.
Depends what you see on the way. I mean, you can stop and photograph
it could take hours,
many things.
To get there, but
is this Malika? No, I don't believe that is Malika. Malika is a very well-known female cheetah in the reserve.
Yeah, it's not
has cubs of a very similar age. Actually, I saw her back in June when I was there. That's obviously someone who knows the Mara.
Yeah,
well
done.
And witnessed and experienced for themselves, and that's great.
Yeah. And we stayed with them for most of the midday, throughout the midday heats, and then this tawny eagle arrived.
Yes.
Obviously knowing something that we didn't know at the time, but waiting as a scavenger for scraps, and at the time everything was kind of having just a little snooze.
Very hot during that time of the day, wasn't it? But then it got to about 3 p.m. when it started to cool down a little bit, and something got the cheetah's attention. Yeah,
this young, one of the sub-adult males, obviously maybe the hungriest of the 4, woke up and went straight for the little Thompsons.
Baby Thompsons to go, and that's probably for me that's the shot of the day that you took. That action has freeze that motion. You can see the speed and the agility and the effort that's in both the cheetah in chasing its quarry, but also of the young Thompsons to go and gazelle in trying to escape. But unfortunately, she chose the wrong direction and ran straight towards the family pack. And of course, life being what it is on the African savannah.
You know, and in an environment where everything has to survive, you know, this is an education for those cubs, and this will help them into adulthood and hopefully put them in a position where they can raise their own cubs.
We've just had a question, where are we now? We're now back in Nairobi after spending a wonderful 8 days in the Mara with HerdTracker and Make It Kenya.
Absolutely, you know, and we're catching, Andre and I, we're catching the early morning flights out back to Johannesburg, you know, so we're spending the night at the Intercontinental, and from there we're heading towards Jomo Kenyatta, and we're flying out, you know, and it would be great to see my kids. But that's literally how easy it is, you know.
Yeah.
We flew out of the Mara this afternoon.
Yeah, 45 minutes back to Nairobi.
And tomorrow I'm back home.
Yeah, that's your regional.
That's great,
so,
you know.
From a photography point of view, the Masai Mara, Kenya and its other parts offer so much, so much. It's a wonderful country. The people are very friendly, very hospitable, welcoming. And this you have every chance of seeing this
every
for
chance,
yourself, firsthand.
We literally just brought you what we've seen throughout this broadcast in the last week, as it is, you know, and this is it. You can literally, within a week, have an incredible experience and have similar sightings like this and absolutely enjoy it.
Yes.
And be back home, you know, like I will be tomorrow. And what an incredible, and we ended our safari with a very fitting view of HerdTracker Hill, you know, and this hill in particular is right on the Kenyan-Tanzanian border, and it's a symbol of peace, and it's a symbol of what we're doing and bringing people together. And
a vantage point for tracking the herds as they migrate. The Great Migration takes place in that year-long cycle between Tanzania and Kenya, and Kenya and Tanzania, and then it begins all over again.
It begins all over again, and we want to really thank the guys that made this possible. And Stuart, it's your organisation, Make It Kenya, you know, that's done this for us. And we want to thank Governor's Camp Collection, for hosting us the first
Wonderful.
And we saw that little piglet lioness interaction, and we saw that big crossing,
and the crossing on the first day
from Governor's Camp, and then we had a lovely 3 full days based at Kichwatembo Tented Camp with and beyond, and we're finishing it off at HerdTracker Hill, you know. So what a fitting end to a wonderful safari.
But if you're interested in the great wildebeest migration in East Africa, go to HerdTracker.com. And if you're interested in coming to visit Kenya, please visit makeitkenya.com. We have a wealth of videos and photographs and stories and information about Kenya and what it has to offer, and the wonderful destination.
Open source, I believe.
Open source, everything's available to download.
And Stuart, we see you February. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm in.
And we're going to pencil in that the dates. And,
I also, yes. I also have a little something for you, just to say thank you.
Unbelievable.
For bringing me on this trip, because as a wildlife photographer, it was a wonderful experience firsthand. And you can see some of the things we've captured, and a privilege, a real privilege to come here and photograph and work with you guys, and the great work you're doing with HerdTracker, the information you provide. So, as a little memento and a little something to say thank you on a personal level for me, before going on too long, I'd like to present you with this very special box of tissues.
Box of tissues.
A box of tissues.
It will come in handy, you know.
Yes.
Not just tonight, you know.
Yes.
You never know when I need it.
That's right. Always handy to have. You know, when you're in the bush, you need to have kit, and you need to have supplies.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'll slip it into my pen here, next to my pen, into my top pocket.
Great.
So that it's nice and handy, and you never know. You never know. Thank
you
very much,
Stuart. Guys. Discover Africa, HerdTracker.com. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can we have a CNN style sign off, please?
CNN style sign off.
Yeah.
So this is Stuart Price from makeitkenya.com with
Carl Farouk, HerdTracker. live, Nairobi, East Africa, Kenya.